driving on a back mountain road, because I live in Virginia and there's a lot of mountains there. So I was driving on this back mountain road, and my car breaks down. So I get out of my car, and I'm like, okay, I need to find a phone. So I go walking through the woods, and I hear this strange... Don't pay attention. I'm trying not to. And I hear this thump. And I hear it again. Thump. Thump. Like, it keeps on going. I'm like, oh my goodness. What is this sound? I have to know what this sound is. So I go into the woods, and there's this house in the woods. So I go into the house, and there's a monk. And this monk is just sitting there. And behind him is the sound. Thump. It's just driving me nuts. So I'm like, okay, monk, listen up. What's that sound? And he's like, well, I can't tell you what the sound is because you're not a monk. I was like, okay, this is really bothering me, but do you have a phone I can use so I can get my car fixed? No, I don't have a phone. I was like, okay, well now the only thing I can think about is the thump. So, I asked him, how do I become a monk? And he's like, well, you have to go to monk preschool. So I go to monk preschool, and I learned the monk-a-bet, and I learned my basic a monk-fatik, and my monk primary color wheel, and I learned a bunch of things, and I graduate monk preschool, and I go back to the monk, and I'm like, okay, I graduated monk preschool, I'm a full-fledged monk, tell me what this thump is. And he's like, well, now you have to go to monk elementary school. So I went to elementary school, and we went on a class field trip to McDonald's, and I got a Big Monk. It was really good. So, yeah, and I learned some more. I learned, like, monkiplication and, like, you know, like, PIMDIS, like, yeah, the M stands for monk, because monks are awesome. And I learned all these different things. I learned about monk history, like basic monk history, because I'm in elementary school. I mean, I'm not learning anything advanced here. And then I graduate from elementary school, and I go back to the monk. I'm like, graduated elementary school. I'm psyched. I'm ready. What's the thump? He's like, well, now you have to go to monk middle school. Let me tell you, I'm not even going to tell you about monk middle school. So I come back after graduating monk middle school, and he's like, well, now you have to go to monk high school. I was like, oh, can't you just tell me what the thump is, like, really? So I go to monk high school, go to some pretty crazy monk parties, like, we do the monk arena. Monk parties can get pretty crazy. Like, we don't do any drinking, but there's some pretty awesome, like, praying and, like, you know, like, that kind of thing. And it can get pretty crazy. I know you don't know, but it's great. But I graduate. I was pretty good. I got straight M's for monkalicious. And I mean, I had a good time. I mean, I was an average monk. I mean, so I graduate from monk high school. I wasn't valedictorian or anything, but I was up there. So I graduate, and I go back to the monk. I'm like, okay, I'm 18. I'm a monk. I'm considered a monk among the monks now. He was like, well, you have to be an educated monk, so you need to go to monk college. So I went to monk college. I had to pay my own way. I was inspired by the monk burger I had, so I got a job at McDonald's, learned how to make a Big Monk, and a monk chicken, and a monk double, and monk fries. Yeah, thanks. Monk cream. So I graduate, and I went back and I was like, okay, what is the thump? Lord knows, he said I had to go to graduate school. But it's okay. I mean, I finally got my doctorate in monkology, and I was now a fully educated Dr. Monk. Like Monk, like the TV.
That's a great show.
Okay, so I go, and he's like, okay, you're now allowed to know what the sound is, what the thump was. So I go, and there's this door made of stone. And he was like, okay, I'm going to give you this ring of keys, and you need all the keys to open all the doors to find out what the thump is. So I find the stone key, and I open the stone door, and I go, and I walk through it for a little bit. And then there's a door made of fire. So I get the key that's made of fire, and I have these special gloves. I had these special gloves to open the door made of fire with the fire key. And my hand got kind of hot. It was really sweaty. I didn't like it. Was that by the same person or by a different person? Okay, then that means I don't have to say the other one anymore. Anyway, so I opened the door and I walked through it, and yeah, I got really hot, and yeah, you know. So anyway, I go through, really need to stop doing that. I go and there's this door made of water, and it's like have you seen the cartoon version of Moses? And you know, like the water is like swooshing up on each side of them. Is it Moses? It's water. Yeah, it's water. It's like, and it's like throwing upwards, and it's like misting on me. And it feels really good after the door of fire. And I have this key made of water, but it's really hard to hold on to. And and so I open the door made of water, and there's a door made of air. That was difficult. I'm not even going to go through that one. And then I go through that one, because I didn't really need a key, I just kind of walked through it. And there was a door made of light. Just this bright, shining light. And I had the key that was made of gold that kind of glowed when I put it in. And then behind that door was the source of the sound.
No way.
What was it?
You're not a monk, I can't tell you.